Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elisa. I am finding myself in a bit of a pickle. Alright, so let me explain. This fall-winter season just did not go according to the plan that I had set up for myself. About a month ago, or actually probably like 7 weeks now, I came down with the flu. And then I was sick for 3 weeks. I'm talking bedbound. I was feverish. I really couldn't do anything. I know, very Victorian childlike of me. It messed up my content schedule pretty bad. So there's a lot of projects that fell on the wayside, which I'm very sad about. And it is now Saturday, 7th of December. I am leaving the UK. I'm leaving my home. I'm leaving my workstation, my fabrics, my scissors to go home for Christmas to see family. And I'm going to be away for a while. So I have now a runway of 5 days, really, to get through a number of projects that I wanted to do, which means we're finding ourselves in a situation where we're going to do a Christmas destashing. I know you guys really love the destashings, even if this sounds super convenient for you and you're like, oh, she planned this. I really did not plan this. I had other plans because this manic sewing that always happens when I'm doing destashings is fun, but it's also a little draining. But we're in good spirits. I sort of have a plan of what I want to make. So there's probably around 8 fabrics in my stash that I would like to get to. Realistically, I think we're probably more going to land on 4, and that's because one of them is actually really difficult to sew. Let's start at the beginning. I have this black Duchess satin right here, very regular old black Duchess satin, and I don't actually remember what I bought this for. I want to make a super simple A-line mini skirt with it, something that is immaculately tailored, because I find that this is missing in my wardrobe, and I often leave the house thinking, if only I would have had this black skirt that I've had in mind for so long, it would have really been the key to unlocking this outfit. So today is the day we're gonna make the skirt. Let's go. Okay, I have 2 hours before lunch. Let's see where I can get to. I don't actually have the patterns yet, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned this. So it's not just sewing, it's also making the patterns. Great. I need a calculator. I'm not that good at math.
Calculator.
Simple A-line skirt, 2 darts in the front, 2 darts in the back, and maybe a sort of slit in the front with rounded scalloped edges. You'll see what I mean when I get there. To create a facing for the waist and the facing for the hemline. All right. Front, back, facing for the waist, facing for the length. So let's put it together. All my pieces are prepped, the darts are in, and now I can place the right sides touching to assemble my shell. Okay, front and back are sewn together. It's looking good. Now I'm gonna sew together my facing, and then I need to pop out and get some zippers because I actually don't have any fitting zippers anymore. It's now 11:30. I think I can finish the facing before lunch, And then I need to brave the storm and get a zipper, although I really would have liked not to go outside today. Okay, I want to place my hem facing now and also sew in that scalloped little detail here. So I'm just placing everything right sides touching, and I can use my markings here as a template to sew around, and then I only cut the seam allowance after to make it visible from the outside, and then hopefully I can easily overturn all this and press it. Look how cute this is. Actually quite adorable. And now I'm thinking that I could do like a tiny bow here. Wouldn't that be sweet? That it looks like kind of tied up. For starters, I'm gonna put the zipper in. I'm kind of unwilling to go outside. I really don't wanna. So is there something I can use here instead? If I do a covered zip, then the color of the zipper doesn't really matter that much, so I could maybe get away with like a brown. I think I could do a brown and then cover it up completely. Make sure nobody sees anything. I think that's what I will do. You know, in true destashing spirit, we use the things we have to get rid of them. That's the whole point of this exercise. Okay, the last step is to put the facing in, and then I'm done. Okay, this day is going really well. The first skirt is done. It looks really good actually. Like, I'm so happy that I made this, and it was so easy to do. Now there's a second skirt that I want to make. Yes, we're in skirt valley right now. I've recently seen this red satin mini skirt. I think it was by River Island. It was an ad that I was served on Instagram, but I didn't just want to recreate this. The other thing that I really would like to make is a bubble skirt. They're everywhere right now. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. A bubble skirt, I remember, is actually one of the first actual garments I made in fashion school in my first year for our annual fashion show. And I think I was supposed to make it because it was easy to do. I think that was kind of the logic behind it. It should be easy enough. I found this absolutely
most Christmassy red
stretch satin right here. Look at this. It looks like Christmas packaging, which is exactly what I was going for. It's supposed to be bold, and I'm going to use this to create said bubble skirt. I also have a lining for it, and I'm going to use the lining as an underbuilt, so to speak, reusing the pattern pieces for the black skirt that I've just made. And then I'm going to create a sort of like half circle skirt, or at least like a curved panel that I then will gather around the waist and then use the lining to pull it under and inside. Yes, that's the plan. So I am not sure if this is going to work out exactly the way I would like it to, because I have purchased a very minuscule amount of fabric. I only had a meter, maybe a little more than a meter, and I cut this like semi-circle-ish shape, which I hope when it's gathered up it's gonna produce enough. Well, it really just looks like an A-line skirt. So I don't know how this is gonna look at the end, but we'll try it. We'll try it anyway. So first I'm gonna put together my lining, followed by the shell. Okay, so the lining skirt is put together. Now I'm gonna add basting stitches to the hem of this half circle situation. I'm also gonna press it first. 2 rows of basting stitches to the hem. There are 2 rows of basting stitches in the hem, and there's 2 rows of basting stitches in the waist, and now we need to gather those down to the distances slash perimeters of the lining skirt. I'm just gonna give myself a notch in my center points, just so I can orient myself a little bit more. Now let's see what happens. With bubble skirts, all you really need to get right is the ratio of things, and I don't know if I have here because of the lack of material. So let's see. I'm gonna put the hems right sides touching. I'm also gonna find the center point in my hem and my lining. Also, what's important is the lining skirt is 5 centimeters shorter than the shell skirt, and that is so that the lining pulls the shell inside and up. So we have this bubble motion. Okay, great. There is quite a bit of ease. I'm happy to see that because I was worried there might not be enough, but it looks like it might work out. So I'm just pinning together the backs and the center front, and now we can see that this needs to be gathered down to this. So I'm grabbing the 2 upper or lower threads of my basting stitches, and I'm gonna try and gather things down. Ooh, this has a nasty sound to it and a nasty feeling, like a chalkboard, but we'll manage. So the hem is on, and now I need to do the waist as well. Same principle. I'm just gonna try and see how much ease I have here. Okay, let's turn this around and see what we got. Okay, so it's not as voluminous as I would have liked it to be. Definitely not. I had planned it to be a lot more bubbly than it is right now, but because of fabric constraints, it's more like an A-line now with a voluminous pulled in hem, but it doesn't look bad. It kind of looks more wearable maybe than what I had in mind. I wanted something really statement, and now it's a little bit more demure, but I'm not going to show you what it looks like right now. Let's wait for the reveal. Okay, so it's a new day, new project. Today, I'm planning to make an Amelia dress. If you've been around here and you followed my sewing patterns that I've released throughout the year, the Amelia pattern is a very extensive pattern pack that I released. I want to say May, I think it was May, and it is this quite simple but striking dress that has a French angle dart in the bust that really makes it very curved and figure hugging. It has a very straight, simple skirt, and it also has sleeve variations plus a back variation, so you could have a closed back or open back. I want to make this blue velvet dress. I found the perfect velvet that really emulates the style of this one. I know that I can recreate this very simply with my Amelia dress pattern. I don't actually have to change anything if I don't want to. I just need the simple front bodice with the curved French angle bust dart, the closed back, so versus the open back version, I'm going to take the closed one, and the pencil skirt. So I'm just putting all of this on a file. I'm just grabbing the medium size for myself. I'm triple checking the measurements because maybe, you know, I gained a little weight. So maybe I want to change a few things just for myself to make sure it fits perfectly since I can. And I'm also extending the skirt a little bit. And that's it. So I'm going to print that, and then I'm going to put the pages together, cut all of my pieces, and move on. Okay, now it is time to get excited because look at this total beauty of a fabric. This is 100% silk velvet. I totally splurged, and this better be good because
it was expensive.
This is this beautiful midnight blue silk velvet that I'm going to use for this dress, and it will require some extra effort to really make it go all the way. So let's get going. There are a few things I have done to try and set myself up for success. For starters, I have modified my front bodice so that it is mirrored, so I don't have to fold my pattern piece. I can just put it on the fabric and cut it as is. And that is because velvet is just notoriously difficult to get straight and follow the grain line because it's very, you know, wobbly. It's not necessarily the most structured fabric. So it's important for me to try and get this right, which is why I've done this. We first need to find out the fabric grain so that we place it the right way. Feels good this way and this way, but not this way or this way. Interesting. So that means that I would have to place the bodice like this, but only after I've pulled the fabric straight. What I will also do, which might sound a bit weird, is that I'm gonna cut the negative from my darts, which is not something we usually do. Usually this amount of fabric in the dart stays where it is. It's just folded away, but because the velvet is a little bulky, I've decided to cut it completely and to treat it like a seam. It loses fiber like crazy. There's gonna be fluff everywhere. Okay, the darts are in, and here's the crux. This side of the back looks good. This side of the back looks extremely wonky. It has scoliosis. Oh gosh, look at this. It's basically a wave. Like, how do we feel about that? Not too good. I mean, this is insane. Look how this is like drooping down. Maybe I should have cut my back pieces individually as well. So maybe I need to recut that side. I'm gonna baste the front and the back together regardless to see how it feels. I can try it. I can feel the drooping on that one side while wearing it. I will have to recut that one side, but if not, maybe I can get away with it. So let's just put this together. Okay, so in case anybody who's ever worked with silk velvet before has ever forgotten, it's a nightmare material. Okay, so I've somehow been able to put together the bodice, and I think it's okay. I think it works. It looks good, at least from the front. I don't quite know yet if it looks okay from the back. I think we'll only really be able to suss that out when we put the zipper in. So I'm gonna plow on. The next thing I need to do is cut my skirt pieces, because I actually haven't done that yet. While I was cutting this, I was like,
I need to know if this works.
so I went straight ahead and put together the bodice before I even cut my skirt. So now I'm gonna go back in and cut my skirt, put that together, and then we can commence with the shell. All right, so I am just back from lunch and coffee. We're still at the same stage. Bodice is put together, but nothing else. But I have actually cut my skirt pieces. There's 2 darts in the back on each side, and there's 1 dart in the front. Now I think I'm gonna forego, or actually already made the decision to forego the dart in the front, and that is because this is just so hard to do. I want to try to minimize the amount of darts that I have. And now in the back, I'm gonna like merge the 2 darts into one, like one big dart, to try and keep it a little bit more simple. So just fluff everywhere. I'm just gonna put the 2 back sides on top of each other and try and suss out the placement of the darts while I chat to you, because I just realized that this is probably the last video of the year. Again, as I said in the beginning of this destashing marathon, I had actually different plans for the end of this year. I had so many things that I wanted to get done, but I didn't get them done because I got sick. And that really got me thinking, because being a content creator is so fun. Like, I love doing it, but it's also a lot of work. And I've talked about this before. I've done a Ask Me Anything video last year. I don't exactly know when that was. Let me know if you would like me to do another one, especially since that point when I did that Ask Me Anything video. A lot of new people have joined this little community, so I guess maybe some of you want to know more about me. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, but if you don't, that's fine too. Like, I'm not that interesting. In that video, I have spoken at length about everything that goes into running a channel like this, and if anything, it's become even more challenging, I would say, because the quality, I hope, of my content has gotten better, and it requires more thought to go into it. This might also mean that I need to change my approach a little bit, particularly in terms of the quantity of content that I put out. I just post too many videos, I think. I have 1 video a week, which if you're by yourself is a number. Especially also when you produce products like I do with my sewing patterns. That also needs to be taken into account. There's like a whole procedure going on in the background that you guys don't see whenever I produce a new sewing pattern. So there's a lot of work that goes into everything around Thrills and Stitches. I'm thinking that maybe next year, and don't take my word for it, because we shall see if I stick to it, I might actually switch to a bi-weekly schedule. Dun, dun, dun. You might have noticed that in the last weeks I already started skipping some Sundays just because of the sheer amount of work that I had to do, and I wasn't able to keep up with my own schedule. And I'd rather change my approach altogether than trying to stick to something that I just can't commit to. I think that's also fairer towards you guys on a whole, because you know when to expect videos rather than maybe sitting there on a Sunday hoping that I upload something because it's relaxing to watch other people do stuff. I know that because I like watching other people do stuff. I still very much consume YouTube on a regular basis. I have my favorites that I always watch, and whenever they don't upload when they are supposed to upload something, I'm a little sad. So I'm hoping that it's the same for you when I don't upload, because ultimately that's the goal, isn't it? I would like to be a part of your routine. So I think it's fair for you guys to know for sure when I upload versus when I don't upload. So I think the plan and the idea is that next year I'm gonna switch to a bi-weekly schedule. You heard it here first. I also think that means that I will be able to put more effort into my videos and put more thought maybe into certain elements of my videos. I always, like, little tidbit right here, the thing that I struggle with most is filming the final reveals, because I really want them to be exciting and fun and beautiful and high in quality. And usually that is achieved by going out, like taking the footage outside, wearing the thing outside, and then filming it somewhere in the real world. I always think that that has the most effect in the final reveals versus when I film it in my little room here, because it's not actually a studio here, right? Obviously it's just my bedroom with a white backdrop, and that's a bit boring. I would rather post less but then really have an impact with the reveals than just having the final reveal be a byproduct of the process. I live in London, as most of you know, and there's just so much that I haven't tapped into because often I run out of time, and I want to change that. You know, I want this to become a little bit more cute, a little bit more aesthetic, a little bit more exciting. I've done these things in the past and I really always enjoyed them, but I just haven't done them on a regular basis because they need contemplation. Like, you need to schedule those things. I am also very much looking forward to new sewing patterns next year. I have not yet made plans as to what sewing patterns exactly I want to develop, so I'm still fully open. I would love to hear your ideas, maybe your input and what you would like to see, maybe your wishes for things that I should be working on next year. Maybe you have some sewing pattern ideas for me, you have some content ideas for me. As you might know, I have like certain swim lanes that I'm kind of like producing content in. We have the destashing marathons, we have the I See It, I Want It series, we have the sewing tutorials, we have the lifestyle vlogs. So there's a lot that could still go into that. Oh, and now we also have the Looking Like the Movie series, so we have 5 series in total. Okay, back to this project. This velvet is really doing a number on me. So far so good, nothing has actually gone wrong yet, but I think we only really find out once everything's put together. So I'm now putting in the darts in the back, and then I will put together top and bottom and see where this lands us. I swear this material is like, has a will of its own, and it's out there to get you, because I have just cut back everything to make it the exact same size. I have transferred the markings from one side to the other while both of the back sides were placed on top of each other perfectly. And now look at this, I've just sewn in the darts and they're not in the same place, although I've marked everything. How's that possible? It's so funny because I do at this point think of myself as a very accurate sewer, and there are just materials out there that are trying to make you think that you're totally useless, and you're just like, how's that possible? How's it possible? Well, clearly it is, because this material is shifty. Would I recommend sewing with this? No. But then again, once it's done and you kind of manage to make something remotely workable and wearable, it just looks gorgeous. So try at your own risk is what I'm saying. This somehow magically worked and it looks gorgeous. I'm excited. Okay, sorry. I'm super stoked about this. It looks so pretty. I feel like a mermaid. It's so soft. It's so luxe. Yes. Fit is perfect, nothing to say about that. Now, I'm gonna put the sleeves in. After the sleeves, I'm gonna put the zipper in. Then I need to reproduce the dress in lining because, you know, I'm a stickler and this needs to be top-notch quality because it's an expensive fabric. And once I've blended, I'm done. All of these things you've seen 1,000 times before, let's skip them. Next project.
Why don't we make your Christmas my Christmas, our Christmas? Why don't we make your Christmas my Christmas, our Christmas? Don't you think that the heart
My Delulu is out of control.
What doing now?
I went to a fabric shop today. God knows why.